Hickory Motor Speedway, the host for Throwback Night here. It's NEPs night in America. It's Throwback Night in America as well. Here for the Marhefka Motorsports 100 at the Hickory Motor Speedway, somewhere in one of the Kakalakis down south. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth for the very first time from Hickory Motor Speedway. Very excited to have a show here live on Vidane TV. And joining me up here in the booth, Tim Terry and Aaron Creed. Aaron, you made mention, big field here for the race tonight, the birthplace of NASCAR stars, and taking a look at this racetrack, 31 drivers qualifying for this race here tonight. Everybody showing up for the big one.
Oh, yeah. And the Hickory staff has the place all cleaned up for our visit, and man, this is going to be some tight quarters racing on a very tight. I think the exact length is 0.363 miles tonight here at Hickory Motor Speedway is the track length. So it's going to be tough to pass, and especially with a full field.
100%. And Sam, you and I were talking before the show here. Lots of guys here, lots of different strategies going into this race, and a little bit, not so much a mix-up up front, but Daddy with a phenomenal qualifying effort in that 99 of 15.069 to get himself the pole. Kenny Kibbe on the outside, and the reigning defending two-time champ John Peters there starting on the inside of row number 2. And we'll take a look at that 31-car starting grid here. But really excited to get down here, Tim. 100 laps on the docket for the night.
Yeah, and as we just saw, the lights have come on. It's got dark. These guys qualified and practiced during the day, so a little bit different feel when we do go racing here this evening. Our first time for Vidane TV at Hickory, but the first of 3 nights in, I think, 6 days that we're here, because we got some TCM stuff coming up next week as well. But the one thing that I noticed, Paul, I did some laps here with the super late model earlier today. This place, like it is in real life, it is tight, but especially here on the sim, it feels a little narrow going into the corner. And we saw during the practice earlier that if it does get narrow and somebody does make a mistake, especially in the first half of the field, there's not a whole lot of place to run and hide, and you're likely in it. These guys do have one quick repair, and they're probably going to – is that Mike Hopkins?
I believe it is. It looks like that might be the look on his face every time he gets involved in a wreck in the 78 car. You got to believe.
Yeah, that's something. That's Cody LeBlanc's car. We're going to see a lot of throwbacks here this evening. A lot of I think there's a lot of go-kart schemes here. There's a lot of early career schemes. There's some drivers throwing back to other drivers. Stephen Daddio, I believe, is throwing back to his Homestead win earlier this season. Obviously, Jeff Purvis on the outside in the 4. John Peters in a kart scheme. A Reed Lamp for number 9 on the outside of row number 2. Ward Burton in 5th. And we, Paul, are getting ready to go green for the Marhefka Motorsports Throwback race. First of 100 laps coming at you.
100%. Really looking forward to this one. Going to have to bear with us for probably about 3/4 of the race as the green flag drops. We've got to get used to all these colors, all these paint schemes once again here for the NEPs guys. But Daddy with a great start. Kibbe with a good start as well. Gets a little bit of a blocking action there from the 99, but he's going to try and hold on to that top side in the 4-car, Aaron.
Yeah, Kibbe's doing a great job there in the Purvis car, but here comes John Peters. He's been on a tear lately after a slow start to the 2021-22 season, and Peters running his 05 kart scheme under Kibbe for the 2nd spot. He's already on it.
Picking up where he left off from Oxford, actually awarded the win in the 09 car because of a disqualification. The NEPs League doesn't allow real-life spotters in the spotter stand, so the winner ended up getting disqualified. The 09 car, John Peters, picking up another victory here on the season and running very well here early on here at Hickory. And you can see Kibbe sliding back in that 4-car just a little bit. Dylan Kopeck having a solid run in the old Bolton paint scheme there, the Caterpillar number 16, and the Stanley 46 of Libby charging hard on the outside.
You got a couple of more go-kart schemes there. Mr. Belvedere in the 56 throwing back to one of his kart schemes. Tim Fidoa on a throwback on the outside in the 46, and it almost got 3 wide there. Hello, there it is right there. Evan Belvedere and Ryan Libby around, and collects U-House, collects DJ Gerard. Yellow flag will fly for the first time. And Aaron, by the way we saw these guys practice, that could have been a lot bigger.
Yeah, and I actually thought they were going to save it there, but then looked like another one came around there and had nowhere to go, unfortunately.
Little U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Hard racing here in the early on going of the race. There you can see the 4-car gets up in the wall just a little bit, and it looks like that was just enough of a distraction for the 46 and the 56 to make a little contact with each other. There's DJ Jordan, the 3-car, U-House in the 3, getting involved as well. Take a look at that front of that 56 car, though, looking like a modified. Whoa, look at the pace truck. He's doing wheelies off that great big tire down there, doing a little CrossFit driving. But 56 car grabs the gear, spins it around, sends it on away. How about that 81 Menard scheme? Old DEI paint pinstripes in there.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat paint scheme. There's a lot of them throughout this field we're going to touch on this evening. The 56 is going to have to come down on the pit road. He's got a meatball flag, so I'm assuming it's probably going to be his one and only quick repair for the Hancock Lumber number 56 this evening. Finished second in the G&G's Gift Oxford 250 back on the weekend, and looking to try to do the same here. And obviously we have the ability, Paul, to extend the yellow flags. I don't know how long they're going to keep this one extended, but Evan is still not come down to pit road yet. So he's going to have to come down, get his quick repair. And oh, by the way, he's right ahead of the leaders, and he will probably fall a lot down by the looks of it here, as some of these guys are still trying to figure out where they're going to be lined up and passing the pace truck. So going to take a couple more laps to figure out where these guys are supposed to be lined up and started and what have you. But Stephen Daddio talked about bad luck. Had some bad luck at the last couple of races, and really trying to turn it around here after winning early in the year, 6th in points. Looking to pick up a little momentum, Paul, here on the front row of this one as we'll get ready to go green, probably with 12 laps completed once we get the scoring lined up.
Yeah, new track for a lot of the drivers, new track for us here at Vidane TV as well, and it looks like we're getting everybody lined up 2 by 2 all the way through, and the lights are off on the iRacing pace truck. So we're getting ready to go green flag racing once again, and you can see triple nines up on the top, up on the front row, Daddio and the double nines down on the bottom side, and John Peters up on the high side in the 09, and well, there's another 9 in there too. The 9 of Jason Ricker in 3rd, and Dylan Kopak having a pretty good run there in 4th. 5th place goes to Kibbe, Marhefka, Bolke, Glessner, Roy, and Alexander. The top 10. Green flag is out. We're racing once again here on lap number 12.
Speaking of 9s, it's number 22 tonight, but Devin Marhefka, he did a good job avoiding the issues for that first yellow, but he's running in the 6th spot with throwback to Robbie Marhefka's late models in the 2000s, and the 99 scheme that Rob Marhefka ran, it actually had little guitars as part of the number 99, which is really cool. It was sponsored by a local radio station and had the band The Clarks on the side of it, who actually performed a concert at Jennerstown Speedway last summer.
It's always cool to take a look and follow along with these NEPs guys here in the Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. Everybody's got some sort of tie to the real racetrack, the short tracks here up in the Northeast, up in Canada, and all along the East Coast, really. Lots of these drivers heading down to New Smyrna here for the World Series of Racing and the World Series of Asphalt, and lots of drivers working on their cars, and you recognize a lot of these paint schemes, except for that one that Brent Roy is running. Tim, you know Brent better than all of us. What the heck is he thinking with those colors?
That is the first ever late model that he drove back at New Brunswick International Speedway in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I don't think they painted it when they bought it. I think they just threw some stickers on it of their own and let it eat. The Service Master Clean 26, as we have, speaking of clean, somebody's not clean. That looks like, oh no, Mike. Mike might have a couple of wrinkles on his front as the yellow flag flies for Cody LeBlanc being around. And Paul, one footnote, Mr. Belvedere stayed out on the racetrack. He just hit the wall under caution, actually. Had the meatball, had it cleared by race officials, so that thing looks to be a little off the pace, but he hasn't used his quick repair yet. But do these guys have to?
Not entirely sure. Now, the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay, we're focusing in here on Mike Hopkins, and as much as Mike Hopkins gets involved in wrecks, I don't know why you would put him on the hood of your race car, but here we are, and you can see heading down into turn number 1, a little bit of a tap from the back in the 01 of Charles Lewandowski, potentially there, sends him on around in the Mike Hopkins Camaro, but he grabs the gear, gets going. Doesn't look like the damage is too bad. Oh, look out, pace truck! Oh my goodness, pace truck is on rails, but with all that going on, all the action on track, we missed the lead chains. John Peters up to the lead, up to the point, that 09 car picking up from where he left off.
Yeah, I have to wonder if with Brent Roy having the Service Master Clean colors, if do we have a Service Master Clean yellow like they used to have on MRN?
Potentially, if they want to pay us.
Yeah, right. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't lead to a cleanup needed for Brent Roy. But he's actually been marching through the field here a little bit. I believe he started outside the top 10.
Taking a look, he's actually started outside the top 10, up to the 8th position right now, gained 4 spots on the evening. And taking a look, it looks like Ryan Messer in the 1 car, biggest mover of the race so far, up 11 spots. And, well, the biggest loser, not a loser, but losing a lot of spots is that 56 car of Evan Belvedere. And timing and scoring is going to call me a liar as we take one more lap of caution here. We'll get that all sorted out. Looks like he scored 31st in the back of the pack. Just barely. Nope, didn't make it out. Did not make it out. So the 56 car going to go a lap down here with about quarter distance under our belts, and that's going to be a long ways to go. This is a very narrow racetrack. We were talking before we went on air. Not a lot of room to pass, so it's going to be tough to get back on the lead lap and move his way back up the field. But the 09 car of John Peters starting on the outside, picking up and putting him down. He's going to make that high side work for him. He's going to gain the lead. Daddy-O going to hold on to second, but he's got a mirror full of Kibbe.
Aaron mentioned a couple of drivers marching through this field. How about the battle for 5th right now? It's Dale Glessner on the outside, Austin Bulkey on the inside. Austin started 9th, Dale started 11th. They're side by side. Brent Roy right behind them. The 16 of Dylan Kopech is working his way back a little bit. I know that's not the way that he wants to go, but the 16 still fighting for a top 5 position here with Ryan Libby to the outside. Marhefka looking to the inside and 3 wide. Maybe, this ain't going to work. Somehow they still make it 3 wide. Uhouse pulls the foot out of it and now goes to the inside of Kopech. And is that a Corey Casagrande throwback I see back there of Zane Farrell?
That it is in the 14 car. The Island Boy, Zane Farrell, running one of Corey's old, I believe that's one of the old Dare Stock schemes, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Aaron?
It was Kyle Casagrande's throwback, if I remember correctly.
And is it Kyle's?
Kyle Casagrande is running Zane Farrell's Charger that I remember seeing at Motordrome Speedway years back. So kind of a cute thing they did, thrown back to each other. Or Kyle Casagrande running that one.
And there you can see the 007 car back in the 23rd position, trying to make a little magic happen. But with these guys 2 wide all the way around the racetrack, there's a pair of 13s racing each other. Taking a look at Brandon Marhefka. I'm not sure what the story is, but that's throwing it way back. The old school paint scheme on that that purple and white 13 car.
Neat looking scheme there. Go ahead, Aaron.
I was going to say it's his grandfather's 78 Camaro.
That's pretty cool.
That. He mentioned that. So definitely really cool in that 13. There's the other 13, Gerard, but we got a yellow. We were just talking about him.
A little bit of the commentary occurs. The 7 car of Kyle Casagrande pointed in the wrong direction. And we're going to take a look at him here on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Find out what brought out the caution. And speaking of yellow, here he is up in the middle groove. Everything looks A-okay. Loses the back end of the race car. Spins out all by himself. Doesn't hit anything. Grabs a gear, gets rolling again. Stays on the lead lap, but he's going to have to restart all the way back in the 30th position. And we've made mention, 31 cars here tonight. We're usually used to seeing big fields here in the NEPs League, but I think 31 cars is going to be the biggest field of the season here, Tim.
I looked at it earlier. There are 3 drivers. There's 34 that have been in this series so far this season. I think Kyle Young, David Arute, who did a great job in the 44 Scott McDonald car on Sunday, and I believe there's one more there. Anthony Aiello, not here, that have done points races so far this season. And looking up and down the list, I believe the other 31 are represented here in some way, shape, or form. So good to see all these guys out here, and they're putting on a good show so far. Working through just a couple of cautions, but these laps click by here real quick, especially at a racetrack like this, as Evan Belvedere gets the free pass. Evan barely missed getting out in front of the pace truck in that last caution, as we saw, Paul. Fell a lap down, got the free pass. This is the second free pass that he's got so far this afternoon, this evening. So he's been working and passing race cars, but now he's back on the lead lap. Clean race car. and he'll march from 31st.
So got the hard part out of the way, got back on the lead lap, and he's going to have to try and maneuver his way around 30 other drivers in this field. And we've seen some great racing here so far. A lot of side-by-side, little three-wide action, as it were, as well. And we're getting ready to see just a little bit more. Lights are off in the iRacing pace truck. We're lined up 2x2 once again. Daddy-O down on the bottom side. Peters up on the high side. Aaron, this is going to be one heck of a restart for sure.
Exactly, and if there's a driver that can march through the field on a short track, it could be Evan, because we've seen him have success this year on the short tracks for sure, with a win this season, I believe. Actually, a win or two. He's been very successful. But yeah, going to have his work cut out for him as we go green, and Peters gets another great restart on the outside.
Yeah, you could put John Peters in a dump truck, and it would probably drive at least decent. But there you can see 2-3 car lengths over the 99 car in second of Daddy-O. Now Daddy-O's got the inside under attack from Jason Ricker in the 9 car. He thinks better of it, tucks back into his tire tracks, and Kenny Kibbe trying to accordion back on up, and Brent Roy a little side-by-side action with the 24 car of Belke.
Yeah, they go side by side there. The 10 of Dale Glessner, I think, kind of pushed his way to the inside of Brandon Newhouse in the 3. They continue to go side by side through the field as Marhefka starts to take another look to the inside and tries to pick up one more. Up in front continues to be John Peters leading the 99 of Daddy-O. This is where the Hornet's Nest starts to go off from this side-by-side battle, Paul, all the way back to pretty much the back of the pack. There's some movement everywhere.
It's so cool to see all the different paint schemes here in the NEPs League, especially on Throwback Night. We've had a couple of them over the past few years here, and I think the only other paint schemes that I really like seeing is the Better Half Dash paint schemes, because man, oh man, being able to see Miss Lacey in a Seltzer car, in a Truly car is pretty phenomenal, and it's always fun to see. And it's always fun to see too and listen in, because the ladies here in the NEPs division, they interview better than a lot of these drivers do, Aaron. I don't know if you're familiar with the Better Half Dash races we've had over the past 2 seasons here, but looks like we got a little bit of a jumble up. Yeah, caution flag going to come out. Put a pin in that. We're coming back to that.
I was just going to say, knowing a few of them, that I wouldn't be surprised, and Lacey's usually not short on words. But we see Wyatt Alexander, who's been running a throwback, his current scheme's a throwback, is back to his grandfather, Bobby Alexander, and he ran into some trouble, though, there.
Yeah, and we'll take a look here at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay from up here on the blimp. Lots of action going on here. You see Kopech just a little bit out of shape down on the bottom of the apron. We're going to focus in on the 96 car of Wyatt Alexander. There you see it. The 13 gets up into the 3. They're 3 wide. Zane Farrell down on the bottom, and the 10 and the 16 get into each other, and Wyatt Alexander is there. So there was almost 2 or 3 different incidents that kind of met up together there on the racetrack in the same spot there, Tim.
Yeah, the 10 incident there is the first one that really brings the yellow flag out between him and Kopech, and Wyatt does a great job getting that woe down, but DJ Gerard and Brandon Newhouse nearly was a full second incident as they went by the slow car of Kopech. They almost had another coming together, but they saved it, and keep that in mind here for this restart, because they should start, I believe, nose to tail just inside the top 10. The 56 gets the free pass again, I do believe, so that'll put him back in the lead lap. Must have fell a lap down somewhere there on that exchange, but all 31 cars, one is now 1 lap down. Kyle Casagrande has scored as 1 lap back. Everybody else on the lead lap, as we will complete lap number 45 this time by, with John Peters leading Stephen Daddy-O. The top 4 or 5 has really been unchanged, Paul, since we dropped the green flag on probably the second restart in this race.
Yeah, and one of the drivers steadily making his way up towards the front is that 26 car of Brent Roy, and on the same strategy as everybody else, on the same fuel, on the same tires, and just having himself a good old Sunday drive here. Moved up 7 spots. He's currently running in the 5th position, going to restart on the outside, so we're going to have to wait for timing and scoring to figure itself out. That's probably going to change up. Looks like he's going to restart 6th here on lap number 46, just shy of halfway as the lights are off in the iRacing pace car. But same story up front. Daddy-O and Peters going to restart, green flag in the air, and there's the jump from Peters. Another phenomenal restart out of the 09 car.
Yeah, same Different green flag, but same result as we see some more maneuvering in the middle of the pack. And there's Brandon Uhouse running a throwback to his one of his karts back in 2003. And I don't know if you could zoom in on it, but I asked him when he sent a picture of it if he was going to put the Chi-Chi's logo on the side of it, because that's totally a throwback going to Chi-Chi's back in the day. But I don't quite see it. He might be on there somewhere. But cool to see Taz on the front, little Earnhardt themed team right there. He's right in the thick of the battle, though.
Into the thick of it, just like the rest of these drivers here. Hornet's Nest, as we've called it many, many times before. Little contact there, little bumper car action, but it's not going to slow these guys down one bit. They're used to beating and banging on each other on the walls on other cars and putting on a heck of a show here for lap number 51, halfway at Hickory. Oh, speaking of putting on a show, what in the world was that? Couple of cars sideways, hard left-hand turn. There you see Scott McDonald getting himself a piece of it there in the 44 car as well, bringing out caution flag number 5. We gotta check on that pace truck driver. I think he might be on the sauce there.
That tire down in 1 might be a little softer than we think, but that happened again where Kopech and Glessner were running, and that's where the last caution precipitated. Not necessarily the two drivers that were there, but Paul, as we roll this U-House Racing Designs instant replay, give a shout out to Johnny Miller. Bald Eagles, I know he's a fan of poutine. Good to see him out here. I know we don't get to see him on a weekly basis.
Well, I don't understand how you can not be a fan of poutine. It's gravy, it's delicious, there's French fries. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I haven't had actual authentic Canadian poutine, but I've had it in Maine, so kind of close, right?
That's like Canada's hat is Maine, right? So that works.
Yeah, something like that.
Maine's hat is Canada. There we go.
Yeah, geography. We figured it out. But these guys putting on one heck of a show here, and it's cool to me just being able to sit back and watch the racing monitor and look at all the different paint schemes and all the different ties to all the different short tracks up and down the East Coast, from the Maritime Canadas all the way down to tracks like New Smyrna down in Florida, Stafford Motor Speedway, Jennerstown, very well represented here in the NEPs League. And it's really cool for me because I've been going to Stafford Motor Speedway in person for about 10 years now, working with the Rent a Race Car crew. And first time I was ever at Stafford Speedway, I was actually in a street stock race, which was pretty damn cool. I finished 2 laps down in a 15-lap race, just like my sim racing career, but still, it was a lot of fun, and been to the racetrack every Friday since. But it's cool for me to be able to kind of walk into a racetrack with a Verdane TV t-shirt on and having a bunch of strangers come up, say, "Hey, Paul, what's going on?" "Hey, hi." No, I have no idea who you are because it's tough to recognize the face and match the face up with the iRacing paint scheme. But it's still a lot of cool, big-time camaraderie here in the NEPs League, in the sim racing community as a whole, and you got to check this stuff out. If you got nothing else going on, check out iRacing.com. New members 40% off right now on the service. Comes with a couple of different cars, couple of different tracks, and obviously, just like anything else, additional tracks and cars are an additional fee. But lots of racing action here on Verdane TV. We're still mid-season here with NEPs. Lots of TCM events coming up here as well as the green flag drops. iRacing.com, 40% off for new members. And John Peters, not a new member here in iRacing. He is back up to the point. He is checking out. Daddy-O slips just a little bit, and he is going to fall into the clutches, it looks like, to Belke and Rickers in the 9.
Yeah, a lot of jockeying for positions going on right there. And yeah, Ricker's having a great run today in second, and in that Reed Lanford throwback. I believe Reed's now retired from racing, even though he's only like 20-some years old. But we see him doing a good job, and Austin Belke up to third. And that's, I guess you could say that's a throwback every week, isn't it, with sort of the Gordon-themed car.
Yeah, used to seeing that red Jurassic Park-looking number 24 car. Caution flag comes out once again. Looks like the 7 of Corey Casagrande pointed in the wrong direction with that baby blue throwback there. Pull up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay and do a little bit of Back to the Future, as it were, and find out what went down. And it looks like there might have been a little contact with the Messer number 1 machine, but it might also be that net code word that I just absolutely hate. But taking a look here at the replay, Looks like Corey backs up just a little bit. Everything looks A-okay here at this point. You can see a little bit of an accordion effect. There was still some air in between the 7 and the 1 car. I think the 1 car was able to back up just enough, but how about that stop by Jared Adams in the 43? You know we got to back that up one more time and take a peek at it from the cockpit view, because that was close. Here's the 43, the onboard here with Adams. Taking a look, you'll see the Corey Casagrande machine get out of shape. There he is. He did give him a little bit of a tap, but that could have been a whole lot worse for the 43 and the 7. But good heads-up driving by Adams in the 43 car. Caution flag flies once again.
Paul, you mentioned the NC word, and we've been using the words prediction code the last couple of weeks on the Tim's Corner side of things. The 1 car of Ryan Messer going down there with the way, and Ryan Messer has been given an EOL penalty for that one. It looks like on the replay, Paul, and we saw it there, where there was a little bit of air in between those 2 cars. Was he going to hit Corey Casagrande by obviously the sim believes it would have, with the way that car went around. Ryan was heavy on the brakes to try to get off of Corey Casagrande, but again, short track racing, product of this here at Hickory, product of this race car with the way it's coated. But that's a tough break for them. Ryan had to start at the back of the field, botched his 2 qualifying laps, just like he did at Oxford. Had to start at the back, and now he's going to go back to 29th as we get ready to go back to green. And he and Corey Casagrande will have to come back through the field.
And we mentioned the net code and the prediction code a lot of times. For those that are unfamiliar, each one of these cars is a human hooked up to a computer, hooked up to a steering wheel that's hooked up to that computer with their own internet connections and all that good stuff. And a lot of times there's different hops and lag and all sorts of stuff that happens. Green flag flies once again, and every once in a while the simulator does a really good job trying to figure out where the cars are supposed to be, but every once in a while it jacks it up just a little bit. You can see Daddio falling back just a little bit in a big way, actually, in that 99 car, getting stuck on that high side. Rickers to the 2nd position, Belke up to 3rd, Kibbe up to 4th, Brent Roy still holding on to 5th, and Daddio trying to get down to that apron.
And Ricker was trying to get a fender under the leader there at the restart, but is filed in the 2nd. But yet Daddio is one of those drivers that's trying to find his way probably back to the inside line here shortly. But good run there for Johnny Miller in the 6th. We don't, like you said, we don't see him very often, but he's always a factor, though, when we do see him.
Yeah, 15 spots gained on the night so far, running in the 8th position in that 6th car, doing a great job in the U-House Racing Designs Mustang, and he's got Mr. U-House on the outside of him. Brandon U-House in the 3 car, having a good recovery in that Taz number 3 car. Zane Farrell in the 14 cars. Caution flag flies once again, and looks like it might have something to do with Kyle Casagrande. I don't know why I keep messing those guys up.
Hey, Paul, 56 car is the one that's around.
56 car.
And they were 3 wide trying to save Mr. Belvedere, but let's just say it didn't work. Cue up that U-House Racing Designs replay.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. We're going to focus in on the 56 right up there on the high side. He's got Libby in behind him. He's got the 13 in front, 81 down low. There's the contact between the 81 and the 56, and there's the little 3 wide action. Brief, but it counted. And you can see there it is, a little bit of contact and nosing into the outside wall. So another big hit to the front of that 56 car. There's a good tap from the 43 car into the back of the 56. So he's already used that quick repair, and we're in the second half of the race. So that's going to be tough to see what that car can do here in the second half of the final quarter here of the race. We'll probably get this restart on lap number 75, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. As the 44 of McDonald goes around the pace truck, and we'll be ready to go back to green in 2 laps. Lights are still on the pace truck, so we'll wait and see what happens here. And Aaron, Jason Ricker has worked his way up. Austin Belke's worked his way up. The top 5 has shifted a little bit over the last 25 laps in the short green flag runs that we've had, but I would think the gloves are off now. There's not a whole lot of time, and there hasn't been a whole lot of green flag laps here in the last 25 or so.
Yeah, like we've said a couple times, these laps tick by very quickly. So 25 laps is not a long time at all at Hickory Motor Speedway. So Peters has been good on these restarts, but they've been drawn ever closer to him here as the laps wind down. So, will Peters get his 5th win of the year? It remains to be seen, as there's a bunch of hungry drivers, some of which, actually most of which, have not won so far yet this season.
Quick caution laps here, too. Usually we like to try and talk to some of these drivers under caution, but we're getting right back to green flag racing, and bunch of 9s up on the front. Peters on the high side. Ricker now down on the bottom side. Daddio back there in 7th on this restart. Got to focus in on that 26 car. Brent Roy having a solid run. Been up in the top 5 all evening long. He's down on the bottom side. The car looks clean, and he's marching up towards the front.
Peters has chosen the outside line on all these restarts here this evening, that he has been the leader, but now Jason Ricker giving him a run to the inside. Ricker is going to lead that lap. Peters to the outside, and now we'll see if Peters can get back and make a move on Jason Ricker. This is the first time he's been behind since the early laps in this race, where he was chasing Stephen Daddio around. And now it looks like Ricker might be trying to pull away a little bit here. Top 2 finding a little distance ball between themselves, and the battle for 3rd between Jeff Gordon and Jeff Purvis.
A little throwback action there, side-by-side action as well. And crazy to think someone was able to drive around John Peters. Very strong almost every short track we visit here in the NEPs League. Over the past 3 years, DJ Girard finding himself in the wrong direction. Wyatt Alexander, big junk, big junk. Caution flag flies here with 22 laps to go. Hashtag Save Us 22. Little shout out to Gary Spinato Jr. there and the Rent a Race Car family. But we're going to pull up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay one more again and find out what kind of calamity we're in here. And I think we're going to have to take a look at this one from the blimp view here, Tim, because there was a lot of madness going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here in this one, and we mentioned off the top of the show, when something happens, people are likely going to pile in, and it's likely going to be bigger than it was. This is one of them, as they get 3 wide ahead of Wyatt Alexander, and it happens right there. There's DJ Girard, and it looks like DJ might have had some sort of hardware issue or something, because, well, yeah, let's go back and look at the 13, because he and John Miller come together, and then he's trying to get going, as we see the first contact coming up here. They're right behind Zane Farrell. John gives him a couple of taps, sends him around. He's trying to get a gear and get going again, and right about there. And there's 1, 2, 3. There's a couple of hits there, and Paul, it looks like there was a couple of drivers that were hard for Girard because they couldn't keep off him.
100%, and you can see Girard looks like he might have shifted that thing down into a low gear to try and get that thing rolling again. There's the spin. You can see doesn't really hit the brakes too much. That's when he puts it into gear, and he just spins the rear tires and sends that thing up into the number 10 of Glessner into the outside wall. There's the pace truck. He's going to jump that tire. 48 car's junk. The 96, big-time damage on the front of that car as well. So we got a couple of guys that are pretty dang tore up here in the back of the pack. But up front, as we line them back up 2 by 2, it's still the 9 and the 09. And Peters liking that outside line. Are we going to see another repeat here, Aaron, of that 9 car on the restart, though? Picked it up, put it down, and moved himself up into the lead. 18 laps to go. Getting the restart with 16 laps to go. This is going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, it's the same kind of alignment on the front row for the restart, but now Ricker's going to be the one that can fire off first as the leader. So before we had Peters electing to choose the outside. Now Ricker's choosing the inside. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. It's been fairly clean and green out front. And I shouldn't have said that because we might have some trouble here, but we'll see.
Little commentary curse, never heard anybody. And you can see the 9 and the 09, 1 and 2. And a little throwback to the old WCW days. Tim, I know you can attest to this. If you wanted to talk to any of your NEPs drivers, call the number 1-900-909-9900. Don't call that number. I don't know what it goes to. But, Belkey gets a little bit of a tap from Brent Roy. We are sideways. We are wrecking. Belkey down to the bottom side. Still green flag. We're stacking them up. There's bumper car action all over the racetrack. Okay, there's the caution.
We were fine until Corey Casagrande shipped it in on the inside of an already 3 wide. Well, actually, Corey had help from Dylan Kopech. That wasn't completely his fault. But the caution wasn't for the Brent Roy incident with Austin Belkey, it was for this right here going by. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, Paul, and this is the issue around the issue that caused the caution.
And we get that a lot, reactions and reactions and reactions. And there you see, there was like 4 different, I don't even know how you would call that. There was like 4 different wrecks in that wreck. There you can see the brothers kissing noses there. Corey and Kyle Casagrande both in the 7 car. And a little bit of contact between Corey Casagrande and the Wad Button machine there with the 16 of Dylan Kopak. But just calamity all the way around through here. This just couple of cars get loose and everybody else gets loose, and Belkey, just everybody sees smoke, and almost like everybody kind of panics at the same time, and then we try and figure it out. Look at the damage on the 96 car, Wyatt Alexander. Look at the front of that car. Looking like a tour mod there. There's Matt Kenfield, owner of Shift Marketing and Design. He's pointing in the wrong direction. He's got a bunch of damage on that 76 car here as well. So we got just a few laps to go here, boys. We're going to get business is about to pick up.
We might see some more air like we just saw with Corey Casagrande there. And we haven't really remarked, how cool is that throwback that Corey's got, running a pro stock that Wade Gagner, I hope I'm saying that last name right, owner of Wild Thing Karts, where Corey first got his start in a kart. And Wade was a winner of the late model Race of Champions at Pocono, back when Pocono had the, I believe it was with a 3/4 mile track. So that's pretty cool bit of history. I'm a kind of a history nerd when it comes to racing, so those kinds of things always get me a little excited.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have to get you hooked up with our buddy Kyle Young, always race chasing and a big fan of the statistics here in the racing world. And 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go with the restart, and the 9 has the lead. Jason Ricker pulls off just a little bit. John Peters, though, right on his back bumper, and he's got a mirror full of Kenny Kibbe in that 4 car. Kibbe's going to go down to the bottom side. John Peters slips just a little bit. 2x2 behind him there, Tim.
Yeah, here comes Jeff Purvis to the inside, trying to not only take second, but to take the lead on the 9 of Reed Lampfer as they go down side by side, the 2 battling it out. Ricker trying to take it away. We've seen some strong runs out of Jason Ricker, trying to break that egg and go to victory lane. Kenny Kibbe looking to get back there for the 3rd time this season. This one is going to be a fight. Who uses the chrome horn? Who leans into each other here as they come to 6 to go?
I got a feeling we're going to find out very, very quickly, and it looks like Brandon Newhouse might have used a little bit of that to try and get around the 99 of Daddio. You can see he's going to move on up a position, but Kibbe's still down. He's got the quarter panel of Ricker in the 9. There you can see, I believe that's Kentfield in the 76 pulling down into pit road. They're side by side. They touch doors between the 4 and the 9 side by side for the lead. And you can see John Peters has the catbird seat with 5 laps to go right in the tire tracks. There's a 78 on the track. I'm not sure what he's doing, but the caution flag comes out. Holy moly, that could have been bad.
That was a close one right there. We had a great battle there going for the lead. Hopkins has a bit of a hatchback kind of a look going there on that number 78. Not sure what that's a throwback to, but pretty cool basic scheme on there. But man, that was rough as there you see where it started.
Yeah, you can see racing hard between Mike Hopkins and Kyle Casagrande there in the 7. The 78 there. And there you can see there a little bit of a tap, looks like. 78 gets down on the low, taps the inside corner panel, lets him know he's there. And there's the incident. Little tap, a little more tap. Wyatt Alexander gets a piece of it. Corey gets a piece of it as well. A couple of cars just kind of pointed down there in the wrong direction. Just a lazy spin there. But going to set up, I believe, as the leaders come right around. Just great heads-up driving by those top 4 drivers. Holy moly.
Yeah, that was tight between those two. It's lucky they got the caution and they were heads up as they were, but they were side by side for the lead. It interrupts the battle, and Kenny Kibbe, just barely ahead at the last scoring loop, is going to pick up the lead. He will be the control car on the one and only green-white checker finish of this race. We're still working the caution, so this race will probably go to 103 laps. And Kibbe and Ricker is looking for what would be his first win of the season. Kenny Kibbe's looking for his 3rd, and I think John Peters and Devin Marhefka are back there kind of licking their chops, Paul, because This could end up being their race if somebody makes a slip up here.
Yeah, 100%. And Kibbe up towards the front on the front row. Going to restart on the bottom side. Ricker up on the top. Been strong all night long. Marhefka in the 22 moving on up. Devin having himself a good run in the 22 car. John Peters still up there as well. The 3 of Brandon Uhouse. The 99 of Daddio. He was up in the podium earlier on, and he has slipped back just a little bit, but he's still up there in the top 5. Sixth place, top 6. Zane Farrell's up there. Keith Lord, haven't mentioned his name all night long. He's up 13 spots. Ryan Salvatore having a good run in the top 10. Charles Lewandowski there as well. 17 spots gained for the 01 car. But Popsicle sticks in the air with that restart. 4 and 9 side by side for the lead. John Peters in third. And this is getting down to it here, Aaron.
Yeah, white flag coming out, and Kenny Kibbe is trying to do something that Jeff Purvis, I don't believe, ever did, win at Hickory. So really cool there. And then Lance Snacks, number 4, he's got a couple car lengths on Ricker, and it's going to slip away from Ricker, but Kenny Kibbe is going to take home another win.
How about that? The 4 car of Kenny Kibbe coming home in victory lane. Jason Ricker having a solid run up. Oh boy, we are stacking them up. I guess we're taking all these throwback paint schemes and, well, we're just going to load them up on the truck, boys. We're done. But Jason Ricker finishes second. John Peters finishes third, pulling down there on pit road to high-five the 09 crew, and Kenny Kibbe going to burn them down on the front straightaway. We're going to talk to these top 3 drivers here after the race, the post-race show, burning them down there in the number 4 car for Kenny Kibbe, picking up yet another victory here in the season. The Lance Snacks number 4 Camaro. How about that?
Yeah, good to see him pick up another win and get him a little bit closer, a little bit further up the standings. Looking down the list here and looking to see where everybody finished. I know Brent Roy was up near the front. He's going to finish 11th, not indicative of really where he's running. Zane Farrell, top 5 effort, was third in points coming in. We obviously mentioned Mr. Belvedere's bad luck a little bit earlier on this evening, and John Peters on the podium again. So it's going to shake up the points, but I believe, Aaron, you've caught up with our winner, Mr. Jeff Purvis, down there in Victory Lane.
Yeah, Kenny, congratulations on the win there. It looked like you steadily moved your way up and then was able to take that lead late in the going. Take us through how you're able to get that top spot.
Yeah, well, first off, I was trying to I started in second on the initial start, and so I kind of lost a few spots, but I was trying to kind of save my stuff. A lot of guys really charging the entry, and I knew they were going to burn up their front tires doing that, and I tried my best to take care of the tires, but also, you got to battle too, and it was really tough. We didn't have very long green flag runs, so it kind of came down to what line you restarted in and whatnot, but we were able to gain spots where we could, and then got up to third or fourth or something and got a decent jump, and I think John and Jason had contact at one point, and it totally just opened the door for me. So got past John, and then the battle was on with Jason, and Jason ran really hard. I mean, that was a really cool battle there. He held me tight, but we stayed off each other, and it was a really hard battle, and I knew as long as I could keep him keep on his inside that eventually the bottom would prevail, and luckily we were able to go green long enough that I was able to nose ahead, and then it just came down to that last restart to just hit my marks and run those last 2 laps.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a great battle to the finish there. And I mentioned it right before you came around to take the checkered flag, but I believe you did something that Jeff Purvis never did, win at Hickory. How cool is that to win at the first place of the NASCAR Stars?
Yeah, for sure. This throwback, I got to give a shout out to Jeff Brown. He did a fantastic job recreating this. And the idea kind of came out of nothing. I just wanted a car that was my number, my make of car, and something that was from after I was born. And so I chose the 1998 Jeff Purvis car. And it's a sweet looking ride. And Jeff Purvis was a really good driver. I think very underrated, in my opinion. Yeah, so it's cool to put this car in victory lane at a historical track and a historical car.
All right, well, congratulations, never nervous Kenny Kibbe, on the victory here at Hickory.
Thanks, guys.
Going to slide on down a little bit further on pit road. Tim, I believe you've caught up with the number 9, Jason Ricker, P2 finisher.
Yeah, Jason, I know it's not the finish that you wanted, but finishing in position number 2 in a 31-car field like this, I got to feel rewarding and still moves you up a little bit up in the points.
Yeah, that was definitely a good run for me. Definitely a little disappointed. Thought I had saved my stuff and been real patient, but probably the worst 2 laps I put together were the last 2 laps of the race. So if it would have been 100 laps, we probably would have ended up the same way. So we're pretty happy.
If the race would have went green, we can coulda, woulda, shoulda all night long, but you guys come off of 4, and Mike Hopkins is sat parked in the middle of the straightaway. A, what was going through your mind when you saw that? And B, if that thing would have stayed green without the 78 in the way, you think you would have had something for Kenny?
I don't know. It sure was a lot of fun battling him. He was right. I think the bottom was kind of the preferred. You could hang on the outside for a couple laps. I was trying to hold him tight. Race fair, but race clean. I don't think we ever touched the whole race or the whole time and stuff. Coming out of turn 4, when you see a car or 2 cars sitting there, you had the pucker factor, definitely.
And I know that the 229 guys obviously have had the number with John Peters going to victory lane a couple of times, but how does it feel to be the top 229 guy tonight?
That's different. That is pretty cool. Wish we could have kept the streak to going. I think we were coming into this race with 5 229 wins in a row, so it would have been nice to get 6, but to have 2 out of the top 3 229 guys really isn't bad.
7 races to go. We've done a couple of short tracks. We're going to head to Montreal next week, the next time we see the Shift Marketing Design Grand National Series. Can we get a win turning left and right?
Probably not. Our whole goal is to not wreck when we go to them road courses.
Keep it in one piece and don't use a quick repair. 10-4. Who do we got in the race car? Reed Lamford throwback here tonight, too. Looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, Brandon Newhouse, YRD Designs, did that for me last minute, 229 Motorsports. Got to thank my normal sponsors, RKM Setup Shop. He does a lot for me, doing the open races and stuff. So other than that, we're doing pretty good.
That's Jason Ricker coming home position number 2 here this evening and leading the 229 brigade. And Paul, I believe you're standing by with the guy that finished 3rd in the race and 2nd to the 229 guys, John Peters.
The reigning, defending, 2-time back-to-back Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series champion, John Peters, coming home with a 3rd place finish, another top 5. That makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 top 5s in 12 starts on the season. That's why this guy's the point leader. John, you had a great car here tonight, led a bunch of laps early on, came home with a solid podium finish, man. Talk to us. What was going through your mind towards the end of the race?
Hey, Paul. Yeah, we'll take it. I don't think I was the fastest car here tonight, and I hadn't raced an actual race at Hickory before, so I knew this was going to be a challenge. I figured there'd be a lot of cautions, and we'd be close quarters racing, and I was actually surprised that I got the lead when I did and stayed out front, and I just made the wrong decision choosing the top. I really thought guys on the bottom would struggle to keep the momentum and drive by you, but I was wrong about that, as evidenced by my teammate Jason Ricker. I was super excited to see him up there battling for the lead, and then sure enough, he went right on by me. So from there, I was kind of at a disadvantage not having control of the race, and myself and Jason and Kenny put on a pretty good race there, and Kenny did a good job sneaking up through and grabbing the win.
So another solid points night here for the 09 crew, and we're off to Montreal next week, little road course racing action. We know you're good on the left and right-hand turns. Have you had any laps in Montreal? Have we got any kind of preview for next week?
Yeah, just thinking back to the Super Trucks race there that we did last season, I had a lot of fun with that, and actually pretty characteristic of that track, I think, for anybody. I spun out early on in the race and was able to drive back and get to the front by the finish, but it's one of those types of tracks where it's razor thin margin of error, so you can quickly be pointing backwards. It's all about how you kind of recover and then put some clean laps together. So I'm excited for it. It's one of my favorite road courses, and I do love the lefts and the rights, so it should be fun.
Absolutely, and a solid night here with the left-hand turns here. Want to give you the opportunity here, John, give you the microphone and let you thank anybody that makes it happen here for the virtual 09 team.
Appreciate it. Tonight we had the 2005 go-kart throwback, which which I've never done that before, but that was cool. I wonder if anybody recognized it. Thanks to you guys for doing all this. We appreciate it. Thanks to Shift and NEP for putting this together, and then everybody who was watching, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to my fiance and my 2 dogs for letting me do this. And then thanks to G&G's Gift, Libby Septic Service, Stigby's Variety, Turn for Automotive, Four Seasons Synthetic. Looking forward to the lefts and the rights, and we'll see you guys next time.
100%. Doubleheader of NEPs next week. I believe going to double check on the schedule there, but lots of racing action. A great race here tonight. Congratulations, John. And we're off to next week. Going to take a look. I think we're kicking it off Monday night there, Tim. What do we got going on with the Tim's Corner Motorsports world of things?
Oh, but you forgot about Sunday.
We forgot about Sunday.
Sunday. Three races coming up with Tim's Corner, plus the Eastbound show snuck in on Monday. So we're going to do the annual Tim's Corner Super Speedway show on Sunday, 50 laps at Talladega. I know Brent Roy and a couple of others are looking at bringing out the trucks for that one. Monday is the Tolco Electric qualifying night for the Tolco Electric Mid-Season Classic that we're going to have here in Hickory. So we're back here Monday and Tuesday. Locked-in field races, 200 laps on Tuesday. Last chance qualifier, per se, on Monday. Eastbound is going to come as well and do some racing on Monday. So a busy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday next week. And by the way, I did see Randy Titus was in the chat and was asking about Hard Charger tonight. Ryan Messer up 15, which is great until you look at Cody LeBlanc, who scared Mike Hopkins on the hood all the way up 16 spots to 12th. And then you look up the hill, and Charles Lewandowski gained, I believe that's 18, if my math is correct, all the way up to 9th place from 27th. So there were some drivers that were on the march here tonight. Great race by the NEPs guys. Looking forward to being back here on Monday and Tuesday for the TCM deal and get to see some more racing action. But Aaron, great show. Good to see Kenny Kibbe back in victory lane. Lots of action up front. And as Paul mentioned, Thursday nights, I believe, here throughout. And the next one is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah, I'm going to have to practice my non-existent French-Canadian knowledge for that one. Before we leave Hickory, I know Paul was talking about, going to Stafford and seeing many of these guys in at the racetrack itself in real life. And Hickory, this big super late model race coming up in mid-March, and I'll be there hanging out and looking forward to meeting some fellas. I don't think I've met John Peters yet, and a few others that I have met that'll be around as well that weekend. So it's definitely going to be cool to just give me a shout if you do see me roaming around.
Yeah, 100%. And I know Tim and I can definitely relate, being able to kind of mash the sim racing and the real racing worlds together at the racetrack. It's always cool being able to put a face to the name. So if you recognize any of us here at Vidane TV at the racetrack, don't hesitate to come on over, give us a high five. If you really want to buy me a beer, I guess I'll let you. I do like beer, and I like it when it's free. But in any sense, it's always cool with the iRacing world, especially here with the NEPs Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. Great to see some familiar racetrack names on the virtual racetrack, but we're getting closer and closer to springtime. We're getting closer and closer to the Sizzler. We're talking about a lot of the schedules coming out there in the Maritimes up in Canada, and a lot of racetracks coming out with their schedules here. So we're going to be back at the racetrack here very, very soon. But in the meantime, be sure you tune in to Vidane TV. We've got some iRacing action every single week, and next week, one heck of a show. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think we're going to throw something in there on Saturday just to say that we did 7 days in a row on Vidane TV, so we'll figure that out for sure. But I think that's going to wrap things up here at Hickory Motor Speedway here for the NEPs Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. Kenny Kibbe coming home with the win with the Marhefka Motorsports Throwback Night here at Hickory. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the booth, joined by Tim Terry and Aaron Creed. We'll catch you on the flip side when we do. We are going to be doing it live.